Psalm 18:7. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of the hills also quaked and were shaken, because he was angry.
Breaking news reports of a large earthquake in Australia. We have been reporting on several small quakes late this afternoon here in Southern California, but a short time ago there was a magnitude 5.8 earthquake near Melbourne, and there are reports of damage there.
A magnitude 5.8 earthquake has caused some damage in the city of Melbourne in an unusually powerful tremor for Australia. The quake hit northeast of the country's second most populous city, near the town of Mansfield, at a depth of 10 kilometres. Media shows images of fallen brickwork and rubble. The effect of the quake was caught on cameras during an ABC news programme.
It stopped this news presenter in his tracks when it struck just after 9 a.m. near Melbourne. Earthquakes of its magnitude are rare here.
Let's go.
And the tremors sent residents running into the streets. Some people in northern parts of the city reported they'd lost power, but the shallow quake did limited damage to Australia's second largest city.
Very scary. Telling the kids just to get ready to get out in the streets just in case, because the whole house just shook.
A little bit exciting for the first time, but also a little tiny bit scary.
Yes, we've had some damage, but the main thing is everybody's safe.
With a magnitude of 5.9, the quake measured higher than the country's deadliest tremor at 5.6 in Newcastle in 1989, which resulted in 13 deaths. But the epicenter of this one was in a remote area near the rural town of Mansfield, some 200 kilometres northeast of Melbourne. The quake was followed by a number of smaller aftershocks, which authorities say may continue in the coming days.
Breaking news, a 4.3 magnitude earthquake rocking Southern California. The jolt occurred just before 8 o'clock, but the epicenter in the city of Carson. By 8:30, hashtag earthquake was the #1 trending topic in the country.
A violent 4.3 magnitude earthquake struck Carson just before 8 o'clock. It was described as one powerful jolt followed by several seconds of shaking.
Boom! And then everything just went boom, like boom, hit the ground, right? I was like, oh my God, Lord, please let this die. I don't want to die this way.
This is the moment the quake struck from inside the 7-Eleven at Avalon and 223rd in Carson.
All of a sudden, everything started shaking. A bunch of stuff off the shelves. There was wine everywhere. There was chocolate, syrup. It was crazy. It was a trip.
And from inside the T&B barber shop, you can see the jolt hit, sending folks outside.
Luke 21:11. And there will be great earthquakes in various places, and famines and pestilences, and there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven. There are 5 earthquakes poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, "It is done." And there were noises and thunderings and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such a mighty and great earthquake as had not occurred since men were on the earth. Now the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon was remembered before God, to give her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Then every island fled away, and the mountains were not found.
In the Canary Islands down to that volcano emergency. Thousands evacuated in the Canary Islands tonight after the La Palma volcano erupted. More than 150 homes have been destroyed, and tonight there's now concern about toxic gas. Our James Longman is in the Canary Islands for us tonight.
Spain's volcanic island is still roaring tonight, and now authorities are alarmed at another series of earthquakes opening up new fissures today. An unstoppable wall of lava is eating everything in its path. Superheated molten rock exploding as it hits this swimming pool, neighborhoods incinerated. This video showing lava flowing down a street. Spain's civil guard reports 7 roads are blocked. They're also trying to keep sightseers away. Spain's military emergency unit deployed to the island to help residents affected. A further 2,000 evacuations from La Palma, which is just off the coast of North Africa, mean 7,000 have had to flee their homes, some in tears, with only an hour's notice to take everything they could. Lifelong resident Lorena packing up as though she may not return, taking her fridge and the mattresses. "We're very nervous," she says. "We evacuated yesterday and took some clothes, and now we're back for other essentials." In an area reliant on agriculture, 300 farms turned to ash. Rescue workers escorting the animals to safety.
I've never seen anything like this. We're just a few hundred feet from the actual volcano. It's just, one of the fissures is just there. I'm not sure if you can tell, but we are being rained on with ash. It's just extraordinary. If I show you down here, this is the stuff that's coming down.
At least 180 homes have now been destroyed in an area equivalent to the size of 240 football fields. But officials today warned it could double in size as the volcano rumbles on.
Right now, we feel powerless because you can't do anything against a volcano. We have a business, a house, our belongings. This is all we have.
All this moving towards the ocean, and when the 1800-degree lava hits the water, thermal shocks may release clouds of toxic gas and acid rain, another natural disaster for this scarred island to battle.
James, we can see that active volcano right over your shoulder, and it sounds like there are now new concerns about the increasing damage being done by that lava.
It is still shooting lava and hot ash right up here into the night sky, but what officials were worried about is now happening. Now, there are two streams of lava, basically larger streams, coming out of that volcano. One of them is heading down towards the ocean. That's good. The other one, though, is heading inland, and that is not where it needs to go because it's going to reach another village, possibly tomorrow. That village will then just be destroyed.
There has been a dramatic increase in volcanic eruptions around the world, and nobody knows why. You probably haven't noticed because nobody seems to be talking about it, but the sea, and a third of the sea became blood. In the last days, Jerusalem will be the focal point of world politics, as we read in Zechariah 12:2 and 3. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples, when they lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall happen in that day that I will make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut in pieces, while all nations of the earth are gathered against it. Scripture plainly tells us all nations, including America, will be gathered against Jerusalem in the last days. I have often wondered what could possibly cause America to turn on Israel.
The bill passed the House after progressive Democrats blocked funding of Israel's Iron Dome anti-missile system. As Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, many in Israel see the vote as a threat to one of Israel's main front lines of defense.
Progressive House Democrats, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar, reportedly wanted to strip the $1 billion from the bill for the Iron Dome anti-missile system, or they wouldn't vote to fund the government. Democrats passed the bill without the funding, but House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says he plans to call a vote later this week to fully fund the Iron Dome. House Republican Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy tweeted, "While Dems capitulate to the anti-Semitic influence of their radical members, Republicans will always stand with Israel." Earlier this year, Cortez, Omar, and other progressive Democrats in the House and Senate proposed defunding the Iron Dome while Israel was fighting a war with Hamas. During that war, the Iron Dome successfully shot down hundreds of missiles fired by Hamas into central and southern Israel. Hamas fired more than 4,000 missiles at Israel during the war into civilian areas. Former Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, told CBN News the vote is a troubling sign of the direction of the Democratic Party.
I'm worried. I'm worried that those voices become louder. We know it's not the majority, not in the Congress, not in the Democratic Party, but they are vocal. We expect our allies, and we have a lot of allies in the Congress, to speak against those voices. So I'm telling AOC and Rashida Tlaib and all those, they don't care about the Palestinians, they don't care about the Israelis, they care about getting headlines and getting support for their radical ideas.
Chris Mitchell joins us now from Jerusalem. Chris, Democratic leaders, that is, say the Iron Dome funding will eventually pass, but we just heard Ambassador Danon's concerns about the influence of these left-wing Democratic voices towards Israel. Are these concerns shared by other Israeli leaders?
Very much so, Mark. In fact, I just got out of a briefing not too long ago with former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., that would be Michael Orr, and he said this was unprecedented for two reasons. First time the U.S. Congress has denied military aid, and actually the first time for a defensive system. He says this is a significant victory for the progressive. They're emboldened, and it's a harbinger of things to come and a wake-up call for Israeli leaders. Israeli leaders publicly will say we'll tamp down this down, but Oren said as the U.S. ambassador that was his job to tamp down this publicly. Behind the scenes, it's very troubling, and they may have to rethink the U.S.-Israeli relationship.
During the withdrawal from Afghanistan, astoundingly, President Biden boasting to the UN General Assembly that America is ready to move on. Really? Retired Army Ranger and Florida Congressman Brian Mast served in Afghanistan as part of Operation Enduring Freedom. He joins us now to react. Your reaction to the president's speech? We're moving on? Really?
The president is absolutely delusional about us not being in a war. He's simply made the war far more dangerous than what it was before, lacking intelligence hunt for those that helped America.
So the Taliban 2.0 is a lot like Taliban. They have not changed at all. The women's ministry have been disbanded. The women have been told to go home and not go to school, and if they're going to go to school, it'll be separately. So, Congressman, were you astounded that we're now going to be a country that goes diplomacy first, not war first? What is
Kim Jong-un targets and tortures Christians, then goes to great lengths to conceal its crimes.
The report spells out terror committed by the regime, designed to remove all traces of Christianity, and reveals the campaign to exterminate all Christian adherents and institutions has been brutally effective. North Korea's secret police, the Ministry of State Security, are incentivized with promotions when they apprehend Christians and other believers.
Those charged with Christianity often face summary executions or are forced to live out the rest of their lives inside political prisoner camps.
In-jae Wang interviews North Korean defectors who have experienced or have first-hand knowledge of abuse.
One victim, who was arrested for the possession of a Bible, was detained in solitary confinement, starved, and beaten with a metal rod used for cleaning rifles.
Christians are the most persecuted because of the faith's association with the U.S. and Europe. Undercover government spies search for any evidence of worship, making it impossible for Korean Christians to congregate with
on their hands. For this reason, he is identified in Scripture as the Antichrist, as we read in 1 John 2:18. It is the last hour. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Watch, stand fast in the faith, be brave, be strong.
What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka New York Prepper. It is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. This is an update on the situation on La Palma. So what you're looking at here is just some recent video footage of the volcanic eruption from the Cumbre Vieja volcano on La Palma. And you can see just how massive this eruption is here. It's just absolutely humongous. Look at this, guys. This is just absolutely insane how big this eruption is. So we have some breaking news to report here. So last night there was a new vent that opened. First of all, there was a new vent that opened up 2 days ago, a new crack, and I reported on it. I was one of the first to report on it, and it was caused by a 4.1 magnitude earthquake, which was the strongest earthquake yet in the last 2 weeks since this eruption started. So we had this new crack that opened up 2 days ago, and last night that new crack that opened up is now becoming the main crack where all the lava is spewing out of. So the new crack has overtaken the original crack where the lava was spewing out of. So now the main lava vent, or the area where the lava is spewing out, the main one is actually the newest crack that opened up 2 days ago as a result of that 4.1 magnitude earthquake. And I personally think that's very significant. That means that this volcano is getting stronger and stronger. The eruptions are increasing. So that's one of the major items of breaking news that I wanted to share with you, is that the new crack that opened up 2 days ago is now the new main crack, the main lava fountain, okay? It has superseded the older one, and it's become the new main fountain, okay? And these lava fountains are spewing out lava several hundred meters high. Last night there were also reports of large exploding lava bubbles, and also the noise level of the eruption has also increased. So guys, You don't have to be a volcanologist or a geologist to put 1 and 2 together and see what's going on here, okay? You can see that the eruption is picking up steam, all right? There's new cracks opening up. The new crack that just opened up 2 days ago is now becoming the main lava fountain, and it's superseded the previous one that we've been watching the past few days, and that's been shown on the worldwide media. So this is just the beginning, guys. This is literally just the beginning. And in the past, when La Palma has erupted, the eruptions have lasted for months, okay? So, this could just be the very, very tip of the iceberg here. So we have to really keep an eye on this situation here. And also, volcanologists on La Palma published the first image of a lava sample from the current eruption, and the lava is of basaltic composition containing phenocrysts of plagioclase and pyroxene. I don't know what that means. Basalt is a fine-grained mafic igneous rock characterized by lower viscosity and lower gas content related to Hawaiian and Strombolian eruptions. And let's see here. I have some more news to share. Evacuation of La Laguna has begun. La Laguna is one of the towns that's in the path of the lava. So they've started evacuating another town now. They've already evacuated close to 6,000 people, and now they're starting to evacuate the town of La Laguna, okay? So guys, this is just the beginning here. There's new eruptions, new lava fountains, new cracks constantly going to be opening up. The next few days will really determine, what's going to happen here. But in my opinion, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get a whole lot worse. And the mega tsunami is definitely a possibility if this thing blows.